For 3 decades, Sri Lanka's northern capital, Jaffna, was hidden from the world because of civil war. At last, the war is over, and I have the very great privilege of being allowed in to film.
It's quite a special place, Jaffna. But one thing that you can't miss here is the military presence. It's not for me to say whether it's necessary or not, but obviously they think it is. After 30 years, it'll be a long time before people forget and forgive and move on. But for everyone's sake here, I hope it happens quickly. You know, for people not having seen anyone or being closed off, it still has a real vibrant feel about it. It has all the makings of a new Gaul. Just popped out of gear. I'm really reliving a bit of one of my great memories driving this car, Morris Oxford. My dad had one. It still smells the same. Needs a bit of aircon in this car though, and I think that was one of my complaints before as well. Yay! There goes a Morris Minor 1000 with a horn that works. Mine doesn't.
Within the majority Tamil population, there is great diversity of religions. Hindu, Muslim, and Roman Catholic. I'm popping into St Mary's Monastery, as I've heard the brothers there make Nelly juice and some interesting wine.
This is another product of ours. This is pure grape wine.
And everything's done manually?
Done manually. I can offer you a small sip.
I would love that. How long's this one been bottled for now?
For 3 months. Yeah.
That's a good small sip. So, I haven't even tasted it yet, but I can smell a lot of port in this, a sweetness. Is that correct?
Yeah, of course.
It's great. It's dry. It's got enough tang in it to make it nice and fresh and lively. Finishes with a bit of sweetness and has a little bit of alcohol, I think. What's the percentage, do you think, of the alcohol in this?
Alcohol not more than 5% or 6%.
Well, I like this. Well done. I think I'm going to cook something with this. Yeah.
Jaffna is hot. The locals absolutely love their ice cream. There are parlours everywhere, so it's fitting I make an ice cream dessert.
I'm going to make a reduction of this wine, which I just pour into here, and make a banana split, which was one of my childhood favourites. To that, one nice big spoonful of sugar, a stick of cinnamon, which I'm breaking up to get all the flavour in, a few cloves, and some mace. Mace is the covering of nutmeg and has a milder flavour. It's not too strong, so it just suits perfectly when you're cooking down wine. I've also got a few oranges, and I'm just going to take a little bit of skin off and add that to it, and a little bit of lime skin as well. While that's reducing, I'm going to make the next thing, a garnish, which is caramelised peanuts or peanut brittle. So firstly, I'm going to roast the peanuts, and to do that, I'm just going to place them in a pan and toss them. If you have an oven, you can put them in an oven as well. And once they've gone a nice golden colour, and you can smell the roasted peanut, take it out. Now into the same pan, wipe it, you make your caramel. The sugar here is quite coarse. I'd suggest you use caster sugar. And to make sure that sugar doesn't burn when you're caramelizing it, if you add a little bit of water to moisten all of the sugar, it'll dissolve at the same time and then won't burn in places or crystallize. It needs to be a light golden brown. If it goes any darker, it's going to be bitter, which is good sometimes, but for this, I just want a nice, clear, light golden brown toffee. So while that's happening, I need to prepare a place to put this toffee onto, which I'm just going to use a lid and place a little bit of oil on it. And I'm going to add my peanuts right now. And then pour it out onto my tray. That needs to set. Now, while that's happening, I'm going to prepare one of my garnishes, which is just going to be some orange segments. I'm just thinking about colour. This jackfruit is very soft, so what I'll do is I'll chop it up, and this can be my base. I'm just going to cut it roughly. It tastes so good. Remember my grandmother loved this too. We used to sit in the backyard with half of these, and her and I'd share it, talk. She'd tell me not to be naughty. Why am I causing my parents so much trouble? But she liked me. Toffee is ready. Now, will it come off? Perfect. Perfect. And if you don't cook it enough, when you do that, what'll happen is it'll be chewy, but that's crunch and disappeared in my mouth. But what I have to do is let it cool. So next is a little bit of whipped cream. My toffee's gone cool, into a mortar and pestle, and then just give it a nice grind. So my reduction now is ready. You may be misled to leaving it on a little bit longer, but a test here and on my fingers will prove that it's ready to go. Yeah, perfect. And the flavour's really nice. Okay, I'm now ready to plate up, and I have got a very unique way of doing it. Well, it's hot, and I thought we might need to cool it down. Remember Bubby, my assistant from the south? There we go. How's that for a presentation bowl? First, be this syrup. And now, my beautiful jackfruit. So splitting the bananas, have my ice cream. It's so hot here, it's starting to melt. Got some orange, put that on. Some whipped cream. Crushed nuts, stay. And finally, oh, look how quickly it's melting. This is my banana split with Father Francis syrup.
A lot of the butcher shops in Jaffna are run by Muslims, and goat is the preferred red meat around here.
I think everyone that eats meat really needs to see that an animal has to die before you can eat meat. That's just the reality. Basically, with a goat, because there's not much of a back, the best bits really are in the leg, and that's what everyone comes for. And for some reason, they always leave the tail on. I don't know whether that means the colour of the goat has anything to do with the flavour or anything, but everyone even trim the tail so that it looks nice. The butcher's there standing with a laugh on his face. All of these gentlemen are actually here to buy the food, but they've decided that they're going to pretend to be the butchers. So I hope no one loses a finger. Very good chop. Yeah, must be a butcher. Oh, yeah? All right, give me a shot.
And of course, I had to have a go.
Thank you. One shot. Being in Jaffna, couldn't go away without making a goat curry. Starting off with liver. Now, using offal in this works in a few different ways. Firstly, to thicken the curry, but it also adds a great flavour. And whenever you're using liver, it's always good just to peel the skin off. That sinewy skin can become tough. It comes off very easily, and then just chop the liver into cubes. And what I'm going to do with all of this is just add all the flavours first, so that it marinates a little bit. Best part of the goat is the leg. Now you can do this two ways as well, with bone in or boneless. I'm going to do boneless today. Okay, so I have my three main muscles and then all the little flap and offcut as well. And now it's time to just chop it up. And if the animal is really freshly killed, it'll be quite tough, so it needs to be cooked for a while. I'm cutting all of these against the grain. Last piece. We're in Jaffna, and I just discovered Jaffna curry powder earlier, so I'm going to add some of that. And this is roasted cumin powder, some cardamoms, which will just be crushed, salt, some fenugreek seeds, a stick of cinnamon, turmeric, chili. It's got to be a hot one. Give it 2 big spoonfuls. And lastly, Sri Lankan roasted curry powder, which is like the Jaffna curry powder, but everything's roasted dark colour. And finally, instead of blood, I'm putting tomato paste. And then some second extract of coconut. And this is just going to marinate. But that'll sit there and marinate while I prepare the rest. And the rest are onion, garlic. So the garlic cloves are peeled, roughly chopped, and then mixed with salt. Using the back of your knife, and it works really well. It just happens so quickly, and you have a very concentrated garlic paste. Also going to put 2 green chilies into it. Actually 3, why not? Some ginger, peeled and chopped finely. I've also got some pandan leaf, torn up, and of course some curry leaves. I've got a lovely pile here of aromats ready to be fried. My oil's really hot now. Easy way to check. Throw in a curry leaf and it'll pop and spit back at you. Put everything in. The smell of garlic will bring people from miles, you know. So nice. Whenever we cook curry in my house, you can smell it as you come down the street. Once the onions are to the stage where they're just translucent, it's time to add the mutton or goat. Did you know that here, mutton is not an old lamb that's fallen down dead, it's goat. Gets a bit confusing until you realise that. Now I also need to add some water, so without wasting any of this marinade, I'll put the water into the pot. right now, all those flavours need to blend in. And once it boils, I'll turn it right down and then we'll be going. Now, a dish like this, anyone can make. There's only one rule that you should follow: fresh spices. Fresh spices are the secret to having a full-bodied, full-flavoured curry. So ensure that you buy them in small amounts, ensure that you use them nice and fresh, and keep them in sealed containers. And curries will become flavoursome and easy.
Most of the people in Sri Lanka's north are Tamil Hindus. This means that they do things a little bit differently up here, especially at this time of the year.
New Year's Eve in Jaffna. Auspiciously, green and gold has been chosen, which is quite ironic, really. I should just wear my Aussie jumper.
I've been invited into my guide's family home for New Year's celebrations. And part of the tradition is the giving of gifts. These New Year's celebrations are unique to the Sinhalese Buddhists and the Tamil Hindus of Sri Lanka. It coincides with the April full moon.
Hello. Hundata Vatako. How are you? Nice to meet you.
These few days of partying are all about family, friends and getting together to cook up a whole lot of New Year's treats.
Happy New Year. Oh, good. Good, it said it in English. Yeah. Thank you. Who is that? We're making 3 things today. New Year sweets. And the first one is a roti, which I've never seen before. Broken red rice going into it. Me, can I have a turn? Come on, let me have a go. Oh, it feels like putty, lumpy putty, but the best part is, get the chuck it. Oh, it's not wet enough. This is cool. I can't wait to see what this becomes. Now throw it. Yeah. And again, ready? We're actually doing this because apparently it puts air into it. Here we go, last one. That was great fun. Right. In here is the muruku. So we've got sesame seeds, salt, plain flour, and a fair bit of chilli. Muruku's like a beer snack. You know, one of those ones that you nibble on and you can buy in packets, either in nuts or broken up little strings of pastry, or that's what this is. For this one?
Yes.
And you put it together and then fry. Wow, okay. Cooking with leaves. This is great. Being so careful to squeeze the leaf. Uncles always have a lot to say in this situation. They never cook, they like to eat, but they will have their more than 5 cents worth. The idea of the leaf is to smooth out this ball. And what it is basically is your table. And the leaf's actually not cooked at all. It's just used to flatten it out. Is that all right? Okay. Uncle? I have to check with Uncle. Peel it off. Put it in. Cool. Use it again. You can see how they're puffing up now. This is the second one, which is the muruku, which is like a rice flour biscuit, which is going to be deep fried. Yeah, like biscuit, isn't it? The 3 dishes are done, all fried. Last thing we have to do now, they're caramelizing sugar, but there's a reason for it. It's to coat these biscuits. Look at that. Puffy and beautiful. Nice little hole in the center. I can taste the coconut in it, which is really nice. It's very rich. And it's just wholesome. And now the finishing touch, the caramel on the muruku biscuit. Yum. Let me try. Ready? It's good. That's nice. It's crispy. The caramel's crystallized. And now the chili one. I should have gone the other way, actually. Anticipation. Ready? Good. All good. Thank you very much.